Well, hey, everybody, welcome to our winter wellness event kickoff call. Let me get the PowerPoint started here for us. On behalf of Judy, Julie, and myself, we want to welcome you all to the call today. This is the kickoff of our winter wellness event. The food portion will run for 10 days as we normally do between January 10th and 20th, which is coming up here right around the corner. And we're very excited to be part of this program. I just threw this slide up here because these were things that kind of inspired me this week as we were creating the PowerPoint. But, you know, just basically stop and listen to your body, love yourself enough to live a healthy lifestyle. And if you don't see a path to get there, remember, we can create one. We are going to talk a little bit about Sunrider and Sunrider foods today, in addition to the general topic of the seasonal element here. But I just want to quickly go through our disclaimer, which is none of the information provided in this presentation is intended to represent a diagnosis or cure of any illness or disease. So why should somebody choose Sunrider? I mean, obviously, it's our philosophy of regeneration, the fact that we nourish the key systems of the body. It's 100% all natural ingredients, no isolates, no chemicals. Everything is super concentrated and created with the owner expertise that really backs up over 5,000 years of traditional Chinese medicine in these formulas that are the basis for all of the Sunrider foods. In addition, Sunrider has been around for 40 years now, which is really unusual in this industry. Sunrider, again, 40 years in business, extremely stable. They'll be here for another 40 and another 40 after that, operating in over 50 countries around the world, which has always been one of my favorite parts about Sunrider in this business. It just allows us an international business opportunity if we choose to do so. Sunrider internally handles 100% of all the research, development, and manufacturing of our products. And folks, that is truly, truly unusual in this industry. Most of the other companies simply take a formula or a recipe, hand it off to a third party, and they let that third party produce a product for them. Not in Sunrider. We internally handle all the research, development, and manufacturing of over 400 of the world's finest health and wellness and beauty products, everything from whole food nutritional products to cleansing beverages, to weight management, to sports and fitness, to green household. And of course, one of my favorites are all natural skincare lines. Julie, if I can kind of turn to you to kind of walk us through the water element of what we're going to be talking about here over the next 60 days.
Okay, I would love to, but are you going to put on the 5-element chart?
Can you not see it?
No, it's not up. I don't think you've put that up.
Uh-oh, hold on, everybody. Let me come back to square one. Okay, we are recording, so that's good. Why didn't the view come up? Hold on just one second. Let's go speaker view. Let's come back to the PowerPoint. And sorry about that, folks. So just out of curiosity, what were you guys seeing while I was doing all my talking?
Your beautiful face.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, then you missed a wonderful couple of slides, you guys. So I guess if nothing else, what are we in Sunrider? We're flexible, right? So we're going to move right into it. Julie, 5 elements.
Right. There you go. Well, you know, in the history of health and medicine, we have seen some incredible treatments, really, and some really wacky quackery, you know, like the snake oils of the past. But some of the most ancient ideas about health remain relevant still today in our world. Like for thousands of years, the Chinese philosophy has held that good health is really a result of 5 elements: the wood, fire, earth, metal, and water being in harmony and balance. Now, while paying attention to these elements might sound a little bit of quackery, wackery, you know, like snake oil, it's really proven to be a great way to think about how our bodies work, find better balance, and simply just feel better. So today we're talking about the winter season, which starts December 21st, ends March 20th. And winter is ruled by what we call the water element. And the most nourishing and essential substance for life is water. In fact, our bodies are made up of an average of 60% water. Think of this, our heart is 75 to 80% water, but our brains are literally 80 to 85% water. So the water element is very important that we are going to learn all about it today. So this winter water element is directly related to our major organs, the kidney and the bladder. It also affects our adrenals, bones, our ears, our taste, which is salty, and the emotion of fear and depression. In fact, excess fear directly affects our kidneys and bladder. Haven't you ever heard the old American saying that says, man, I was so scared, I almost peed my pants. Or maybe you said, I did pee my pants. Either way, that is how excess fear affects the water element, because fear and your kidneys, they're connected. So the days now in winter get shorter, and in winter months, especially those northern states, not here in Florida so much, but with reduced sun exposure, our circadian rhythms are affected. It makes our body produce more melatonin. So what is the result? We feel sleepy, more tired, but this is normal. This is a normal thing. But the question is, what should we do in winter that is different than the other times of the year? So winter is a time of the year to slow down our activity, to reflect on our health, to replenish our energy and rest, keep warm, especially our kidney area, and conserve our strength for spring. All your gurus will agree that you got to go to bed early, rest, stay warm, expend a minimum quantity of energy. And during winter, we should emphasize eating warming foods like soups, stews, roots, black and red beans. We're going to hear more about that later. Also, using sea salt in our food is healthy, but we must be careful to not use too much salt, because salt affects the kidney and the water element. In fact, if you notice on the 5-element chart here, there's an arrow that goes from all the different elements. Well, the arrow that goes from the kidney and the bladder meridian group there, the water element, that goes up to where? To the fire element. What does that mean? That means that our kidneys and bladder can have direct influence on that fire element, especially the circulatory meridian. So too much salt affects the blood pressure, or if there's a kidney blockage, that affects blood pressure too. So if one system is working too slow or too strong, those arrows are going all sorts of ways. There's a circle, and then there are arrows. So Dr. Chen years ago put a video of a carriage being pulled by 5 horses. And it showed that if the 5 horses are galloping and moving along all at the same pace, then everything worked well. The carriage got to its place of destiny. But that's how our elements are. We have to have all 5 of these elements going at the same pace so we can just feel well. And water energy is flexible, it's adaptable, and it flows. So the water element is about our ability to flow and to overcome obstacles. That's my obstacle for today, pronouncing that word, without excess fear. So that's why Dr. Chen made LifeStream. And LifeStream is a formula to help us have flow, not like a raging ocean or barely a little trickle, but a nice steady stream. So we can overcome life's problems without taking our body out of balance. And with this element in balance, we are more observant, more introspective, and more calm. That's actually on the Sunrider website in their article about LifeStream. And you'll also notice that it will say promotes cardiovascular health. That's because that water element affects our circulatory system so much that these formulas will work for all of this system for that flow. Another important point about the water element is that, and many gurus, health gurus will agree with this, that the kidneys are thought to store our body's basic fundamental energy, our essence, responsible for all of our chi or vitality. It's a primal energy. It's our individual life force. It's also called our deep foundational energy reserves in our body. If you notice on the kidneys, they sit the adrenals that are right on top, right? And some practitioners say we can leak this energy. That's a weird word. It's very strange to say that. But what does that mean? It means by abusing our bodies with poor lifestyle choices, overwork, study, reckless behavior, all night parties, drug use, poor eating habits, not enough rest, being inactive or exercising too much, we can actually leak energy. And we feel that. We feel it. We know when we abuse our bodies that way, we don't feel good because we're leaking that primal energy of ours. And there's other factors that can do it. Parasites, chronic inflammation, candida overgrowth, viruses and low-grade infections that sometimes people carry for years, pollution. There's so many things. But also there's something called emotionalism, like chronic fear, anxiety, depression, stress, but also too much joy and bliss can drain energy. Imagine that, having too much joy. Oh my goodness. But you can see that this vital essence is like a pilot light that can spark energy anytime in our entire body. So it's very, very important that we always are replenishing our energy reserves. How do you know if you don't have enough energy reserves? Well, we are all aging, but physical signs are arthritis, poor memory. I see so many young people today that are young and have a terrible memory. It's crazy. Ringing in the ears, bone degeneration, premature hair loss or graying, lack of sex drive, infertility, hearing loss, too little or too much urination. And emotional signs are lack of motivation and drive, apathy, being fearful or apprehensive, inability to confront issues, or you just can't get going. It's a inertia in our body. So if you experience these symptoms or want to replenish your energy, then you definitely want to participate in our 10-day challenge, not only to balance out the water element, to balance the entire body. So paying attention to one element at a time is really a wonderful way to begin noticing the effects and how our bodies are so complex and they work together. That's why I love Sunrider. This is the main reason, is because it feeds like liquid 5. We feed all 5 body major systems, and we are constantly replenishing this energy. So the nutshell conclusion is that ancient Chinese believed that human beings should live in harmony with the natural cycles of their environment. The cold and darkness of winter urges us to slow down. This is the time of year to reflect on our health, replenish our energy, hydrate our bodies, eat warming foods, and conserve our strength and energy to get ready for spring. And please stop any major energy leaks. And now we're going to hear from Judy Denzler.
Well, thank you, Julie. I feel like I need to excuse myself and go get my bottle of live stream. I'm a believer. So you did an excellent job, and I really appreciate all the added information, and particularly on live stream. And that's one of our, of course, #1 top required product if you're participating in the winter wellness. And if you're not, you better get it anyway after hearing this, correct? I really like, Julie, how you connected it to the heart, to circulation. And I love how the Chinese think in picture form. Too much water puts out the fire, and not enough water, the fire will blaze. So simple terminology. And I remember a newsletter you sent out in the past on Jing. And that was what I believe you were talking about, the energy stored within the kidney. And I think that is just so fascinating, a total topic of its own. And if you think about it, you can live with only one kidney, but you never hear about the kidney regenerating itself. So that's why it's so important to preserve the health you have and be sure the load is off that area of the body and keep up with everything else. Like Julie said, don't deplete that energy because, it's life itself, the internal spark of life. So if anything else needs to be said more about live stream, I don't think so, except that I would like to point out that you may be getting it in your quinary. Fabulous. Everyone should use quinary. However, if you're working on a specific situation that involves the kidney bladder area, you need to increase that. And You might try to work up to 10. We're not prescribing or anything, but if you're working for eyesight improvement, or you're working for maybe something in regards to hearing, we were talking about that earlier, you want to increase it, because live stream works. I've seen people deal with macular degeneration and get improvement. I take it before I go take a driving test. And lately I've been sending the wrong Zoom numbers out to people. So I think I could use a little bit of eyesight improvement. So whatever the situation is, or blood pressure, and high blood pressure comes from different situations. But try increasing it, because my experience over the years has shown it takes more live stream, maybe more than some of the other products, to shift the results into the positive area, but it absolutely works. So looking forward to all the reports on that one. The next one is, if you can say it, you get a prize, Chiwujia. That's an interesting one, and we included it because it's an adaptogen, which means helps you adapt to stress. Anyone under a little bit of stress today?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
But also, more importantly, because it boosts the immunity and it soothes you into a calm, restful sleep. Again, that would be something maybe to take later in the day or in the evening, but it does help with movement. It helps with joints, all that kind of thing. And that's why it was included. Now, we could talk about Cali all day, but we don't need to. But suffice it to say, it is high in antioxidants, and it acts as a natural diuretic. We have had many experiences of improvement in kidneys with the addition of Cali. So I don't know about you, but I absolutely love warm Cali this time of year. I'm not drinking it as iced tea. I'm drinking it warm. And I also love warm lemon Fortune Delight. I tell you, that is just delightful. And who doesn't love cinnamon Cali with the spring, warm cinnamon Cali with some peach in it? Boy, if that's, it just, the aroma just fills the house. So use your Cali, but Fortune Delight is still okay too, of course, because it helps in the water element aspect. Now, we gave you a choice between Dandelion root and Goldenseal root, emphasis on root, as we're going to talk more about that later. But in Dandelion, if that was your choice, perhaps you feel you're too acid. You need to be more neutral, more alkaline in your system. Also, it deals specifically with water retention and with inflammation, two areas that seem to be even more of an issue in winter for some people. And then Chinese Goldenseal root. And it made the grade here because of the immune system, circulatory system, and urinary tract health. So it's certainly, you're welcome to include both, but you know, whichever one applies to you more, because this is designed for you to make the choices to regenerate what's going on in your body and what you need. So now, Mac, give us a few tips on some of the highly recommended products.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I don't want to go into a lot of detail here because most of us are familiar with these products already. But when I looked at the highly recommended list, Judy, I had to kind of laugh a little bit because I'm using all of those products every day anyway. So this one's going to be a no problem one for me. The immunity and the respiratory support pack that Sunrider delivers has basically put together 4 products that truly do address the nourishment of both our immune and our respiratory systems. They include alpha-20C and citric C, specific for the immune system, and then vitamin D3 in Conco for respiratory. Combined together, it's a really powerful pack of products. And again, folks, if you're using 1, 2, all 4 of them, fabulous. Again, I use each of those every single day. And in particular, the Conco I enjoyed from our last challenge in bumping up that because I really felt the impact on my lungs, being able to breathe better through karate and kickboxing and all the other things I do, hiking, etc. Wonderful combination of products. VitaSpray, use it every day, just did. Wonderful B12 complex, fabulous, fabulous product for so many reasons. Again, if you haven't tried VitaSpray, highly recommend it to everybody. Electrosport. I'm working out all the time, constantly losing minerals, electrolytes from my body just through perspiration, etc. Electrosport is something I use every single day. It's part of my magic elixir drink where I have my Cali, my Fortune Delight. I'll put in my Evergreen, my Electrosport, my Vitafruit, again from our last challenge I started using, and Liquefied, because I want that extra quinary, which is what gets us down here a little bit in the list, but I don't want to skip past Veros first. Veros, again, is about circulation within the body. Don't really think there's much more that needs to be said about that. It is all natural. It's not a hormonal thing at all. And again, it nourishes the body, and it does provide great circulation, bone strength, skin tone, etc. Wonderful product. Do 2 caps every single day. Quinary and Liquefied, Judy, you've already kind of alluded to this, and Julie, so did you in your great explanation of 5 elements. But again, be it in liquid form and Liquefied, in the little powder pack form, or in capsules, quinary is something we all should be consuming every day. Last but not least, especially coming out of the holidays, for those of us that celebrate, VitaTaste has been instrumental for me this last period of time, mainly because it helps inhibit the absorption of sugars and simple carbs in the stomach. So we can be a little bit bad and still get away with it. Or as the old saying goes, have your cake and eat it too, right? So again,
That's right.
all of these are wonderful products. And again, I'm really excited, as I have been in each of these challenges that we've laid out over this last year, to really get into those required products in particular, because I've always, each time we've done this, I've seen a significant impact on my health simply by increasing the quantity of some of these things where we may already be using. So great stuff. Judy, can I come back to you? And I want to apologize to everybody about a couple things real quick. First of all, my intro, which I blew it totally on with the slides. But secondly, I had really wanted to work hard on trying to get our little Hollywood squares out of the way. And obviously I have not been successful. So I'll have to come back and talk to Sunshine again about how to do this better. But Judy, hopefully, can you see some of the table food lists and the sea vegetables and stuff up on the screen, or am I completely blocking us out?
No, you're good, Mac. On my screen, that's the main, almost the full screen, and you're just a square at the bottom on my iPad. So I don't know how everyone else is doing, but I think it's
Yeah,
great.
I see it well too. Yeah.
Awesome. Good to know.
Great.
Good to
Yeah.
know. Okay.
I still
Judy.
can't read everything yet, though, because I haven't done the live stream in the large amounts. But fortunately, I have a big screen over here with that on it. So anyway, so as Julie alluded to, in winter, we need to eat warming things, where the whole idea is to warm the body because it's cold outside. Now, the people joining us in our are from all over the country. We have Florida to New York, we have Arizona to Washington, and then we have Hawaii and Alaska. So when we talk about including these foods in eating locally, that is to your area. Our Hawaiian friends, I don't know when bananas ripen and when pineapples are picked, but I know I love those more in the summer, and I freeze them and make my smoothies. But honestly, I've been making my smoothies a little warmer now. And so we want to start focusing, if we're in a colder area, on things that putting in our smoothies that are more along that line. Apples, you'll see a lot of the things that we delivered to you in autumn, that's when we harvested them. So now we're using them still. And so that's the idea. But our focus is going to be more on the roots, the bulbs, the things below the ground, because guess what? That's where the energy has gone now in the actual plants themselves. So the more we focus and use that, the more oomph we get, more bang. And so the greens on top are still there. It's not that we can't eat the greens, but maybe we're going to add them too. We might be steaming them. We might be adding them to our stir fry more frequently than making a big cold salad. And it's not you can't have salad. You can do all of that. It's just change your focus a little bit more to include these things. So Julie mentioned some of the things, and we know roots are things like carrots and turnips, and bulbs like onions. We have potatoes for roots. all those things are things we can focus more on. But something maybe not as common to a few of us are sea vegetables. And that has to do with like kelp, nori, hajiki, wakame, several things like that. And they actually are so powerful because Julie mentioned that our blood, the water involved. Did you know that our blood is closest to in composition to ocean water? And so it's no surprise then that incorporating these sea vegetables is going to improve our health. Such things as, you know, the acid alkalinity. I mean, some things on the market actually sell a type of seawater, like Balanced to Sea, to help improve your blood. I know because years ago I took it. And so the things we can expect when we use these products are better hair, better skin, better nails, because of the mineral content. It also, sea vegetables have the ability to draw out ionized radiation. Now, maybe you haven't undergone any radiation treatments lately, but hello, all of us are exposed to radiation daily through all of our devices, through our, it's just out there. People will register high in radiation who haven't even had a dental x-ray in years. So radiation is something that affects us, particularly the thyroid. Whether you think it's your cell phone or whatever it is, doesn't really, well, maybe it matters because you can lessen it, but we all are affected. So this is excellent to include. And interestingly enough, these are the same things we all noticed improvement in by increasing our spirulina. So when you can't, those of us in the challenge, if you can't come up with some nori on a day, you can sneak in some spirulina and be covering this aspect. So remember that. So along with our foods, garlic is great, ginger root tea. Try to include some of the extra things that maybe you don't normally use, the warming spices. Hey, how about cayenne pepper? It actually produces warmth and is very healing. It's a catalyst actually for all other herbs. And I even used it when we were in Iowa, so my feet wouldn't get too cold when I went outside in the snow. So it definitely promotes circulation. My father was able to, he used that instead of nitro for his heart, and he outlived his cardiologist. So he made a very potent tincture with cayenne and habanero. So the peppers, the heat producing things, kind of focus on that. And one of the great ways to cover all these areas is to put a big pot of water and put them all in for soup. I think Julie mentioned soup. I tell you, in Arizona, I get excited when the days start cooling because I absolutely love soup. You can put so many things in it. You can even clean out the crisper drawer and it's still good. So notice in soup, we are actually satisfying a lot of things. We have the water element in there. And if we put more root vegetables and things like that, think of the nutrition. We're putting it in solution, kind of like colloidal minerals that are more easily absorbed. So one aspect I'm excited about in this year's challenge is you get 5 points for posting your favorite soup recipe. And I have to admit, it's kind of a selfish thing. I love soup. I'm interested in seeing everybody else's recipes. So let's all share on that. So soup is an excellent way this winter. So now we need to talk a little bit more. Matt, can you fill us in on a very special aspect this time in our winter wellness? And again, whether you're in the challenge with us, and it is a challenge for yourself, not for necessarily. Some people keep points, some people don't. Some people use it to check off. So however, what level you want to participate, we sure hope you'll join us. But Matt, tell us about the special event that we're going to have in our winter wellness.
I will, absolutely, Judy. And thank you. That was great, by the way. Like you, I'm really looking forward to the sharing on the Facebook page, because that's where we can kind of just really help each other in terms of the element and how water works, but also some of these great recipes. And Matter of fact, I was just looking at one of my favorite websites is Forks Over Knives, because it gives a lot of great recipes on soups and stuff. And they had like 6 different recipes for lentils in particular. So I'll be sharing some of those over the next couple of days. In any case, before we get to how we're also going to do something special with this, Judy, you alluded to it, but this program will work as the other one has in terms of how the process will work. We do have a special Facebook page that was established. Hopefully all of you guys have been invited to, and you can accept the invitation. If not, please get with your upline or whoever invited you to the call, and we'll make sure you get an invitation to the page. It's beautiful. Stephanie, Judy, thank you very much for that, by the way. Again, we want to encourage everybody to post along with us. We will be tracking points, as Judy discussed, but, put up there, little videos, recipes, any exercises you're doing, how you're using the Sunrider foods, the table foods, etc. That's the kind of thing that we all want to share with each other. And personally, what I've enjoyed so much about this last year and the various challenges is just seeing what people have shared. It's been wonderful from that aspect. Again, in terms of the foods, if you're currently using some of these Sunrider foods, especially the required ones, as Judy said before, increase it, okay? Just increase it and see how your body feels. We want to encourage everybody to do that. We're not saying discontinue anything. We're basically just saying increase it and see how your body feels during this period of time. Now, the special aspect that Judy was talking about, we've teased everybody for a while about talking about some of these walking challenges. And for me, I've experienced these a couple times over this last year, first with my Hungarian group that basically walked from Budapest all the way to Los Angeles. I just did one with my Australian group that walked all the way from Sydney to Brisbane in terms of distance. And what we wanted to throw out to you guys was, again, another little way just to get us all moving. And it's time to walk, 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 as we said, And the idea here is to, if you don't have one already, and most smartphones come with an app that lets you track your movement. But if not, there are a bunch of free ones that are available through the App Store. Get one on your phone that tracks your steps and so forth. And what we're doing is we're suggesting that we work as a team. Okay, so I'm not in competition with Judy. Julie's not in competition with Stephanie. Stephanie's not in competition with Tim. We're all working together towards a single goal of walking between January 10th and March 10th, a collective distance of 1,500 miles, which just happens to coincide with Sunrider's current home base in Torrance, California, and their new manufacturing facility in Dallas, Texas. So again, folks, we'll be getting you more details on this, but if I can encourage you all, get an app on your phone. What we've kind of talked about doing is reporting each week. So if Stephanie is part of Judy's group and Tim, you're part of my personal group, let's say, you will each report in to your upline person, and then we'll collectively get the data together, put it together on a spreadsheet. And I'll try to post once a week or once every week and a half or so about how far we're getting as a collective group on our goal of 1,500 miles between Torrance and Dallas. So again, I hope you guys will all consider joining us on this part of the journey as well. There's so many benefits to walking and movement, period, which again, I'm preaching to the choir here in terms of this group. But look, if we can just get out there and move a little bit, and this is done collectively. Last thing I'll say on this is because I recognize, as we all do, that each of us have our own abilities. Within Australia group, for instance, we had one lady that was playing 36 holes of golf every day, but we had another lady that could really only walk like 5 times around her living room because of her age and her mobility. Didn't matter. We all contributed. No one was left behind, and it all gained towards a central goal of reaching a distance as a collective group. So again, folks, join us on this. This is going to be fun. We can post into the same Facebook page that Stephanie and Judy set up for us for winter wellness. And it'll be really cool just to kind of track our progress. And what a great way. I mean, just think about it. You can go out there and you can be walking around with your little Sunrider bottle, do a little video about, yeah, I'm getting some movement in with my circulation. Put that on your social media. You never know the kind of people that will look at that and want to hear more about what you're doing. So anyway, hope you guys join us on that. Last but not least, here we are on our last slide. Again, really hope you guys can all join us for the food event as well as the walking, and participate on Facebook in particular in sharing with us what you're experiencing, what you're feeling, what's going on with this whole thing. Judy, Julie, any comments before we shut down this section of the call?
No, I'm just very excited about this whole program. I think this is very exciting. I think, here in Florida, we don't, we do have days that it gets cold that we can actually feel like eating soup. So it's 80 today. So we're, it's hard thinking of that. But definitely we are all, I know our group is very excited about participating in this. So thank you for putting this together.
Absolutely. Judy, any last comments?
I just had one, I'm going to keep it quick, hopefully. I just had one comment about Veros. And I just wanted to say, like most people think of it as a man's product, but you addressed the fact that it was, for both. It's not hormonal because women have testosterone as well. But just for a tip, you take 2 a day. I occasionally take 1. I have noticed, and a couple of my friends have also commented, that if we happen to take Veros, but there's no physical activity with that we're a little bit more irritable.
Aggressive.
I was going to say aggressive too, but I'm going to leave it alone.
Yeah, and so I'm just saying, like, I took that yesterday with my top focus. I worked hard moving heavy plants and doing stuff all day yesterday, and my energy never waned, and I felt good, even through the evening. In fact, I thought, well, am I going to shut down at night? But I was able to. It didn't keep me going. It wasn't a hyped, but so I'm just saying, if it's a day of walking, a day of exercise, just, each person needs to play with that a little. One of my good friends said she had to realize she couldn't take it a day that she wasn't, busy or very active, because she was afraid that she was in danger in the parking lots because she was so irritated if someone cut her off. And I'm just saying that as a caveat, so that use it for stamina, but when you need stamina and when you're going to be physical. I don't know from a man's standpoint, but definitely from the woman's standpoint. So that was just something I wanted to add. And about the point tracking on the walking, it's everyone together. So it's not a daily report, maybe at the end of the week, and we all pool them together, like Max said. So no embarrassment there, because I'm counting on some real heavy duty walkers joining me, because I don't know how much walking I'm going to be doing, but I'm definitely going to participate in this because I think it's fun. I can really get behind team things easier than something I do for myself. So I hope the rest of you can too. So thank you. Thank you, everyone who came. It's a busy Saturday. So many conflicts. We're missing a couple of our normal team presenters due to conflicts. So in schedules and different things. So we appreciate who showed up, and please use the link that you will be sent to get some more of others on board. Get some people that you're sharing Sunrider with, or some other friends, because the more the merrier. It's a lot of fun. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Judy. I'm going to go ahead and end the show right here and stop sharing my screen. And in the recording, thank you, Judy. Thank you, Julie. Thank you for everybody that joined us. And as Judy said, we'll get this link out to everybody, and we'll also post it on the page on Facebook for everyone to look at. So with that, thank you, everyone.